Warning. 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 The following pre-recorded podcast may contain adult themes, language, and humor. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Unfiltered Live podcast with...
I'm Margaret.
And I'm Esther. And this is podcast number 1, so you'll have to excuse any awkward moments and silences as we try and figure out what the hell we're doing here.
Most of that will come from my end.
Yeah, probably. Most of it will come from Margaret. But we're a team same voice. We realized over a few sound tests that we do sound incredibly similar. So get used to it and over it, either one. So we want to go ahead and start out today with a little bit of an icebreaker challenge just to kind of get the ball rolling. So we're going to do a little would you rather where we present scenarios and the other person has to decide which scenario they would rather do, even though most of these, neither of them sound like fun to me at all. And then a short explanation possibly of why, unless it's blatantly obvious why you would pick one over the other. So we can go ahead and start with that. So Margaret, your first question is, would you rather be raped by a narwhal or have robot sex?
Well, if anybody knows my background with The Whitest Kids You Know, I would obviously rather have sex with a robot because the background music would be Sex Robot from The Whitest Kids You Know.
Absolutely. But you know what's funny about your robot sex, though? Is it wouldn't actually be sex with you as a robot, because I know you, and it would be like cardboard boxes and and like dryer sheet exhaust lines and all kinds of stupid shit.
Even better.
Even better, it'd be like cardboard sex robots, which, I mean, we should do that someday. We should actually we've been talking about it for years.
Yes, I'm going to need you to dress up like a robot and make boop beep boop bop sounds while we have intercourse, okay? I think there'd be some alcohol involved in that.
Well, I mean, you don't get Margaret
copious
and Esther
amounts
any other way
of alcohol.
Absolutely copious amounts of alcohol.
Okay, Esther, would you rather have an alien claw out of your bum hole or have a handful of glass shards thrown at your face?
Okay, so first off, how big is the alien? I mean, I have so many questions for things like this. Like, is it a small alien that would just probably be like a normal Friday night? Or is it like something like Predator-like?
Right, like the cute little alien from Home or one with big sharp claws.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with glass shards simply because even if they're thrown in my face, that doesn't mean that, you know, my butthole's being destroyed. So...
Your face would heal, your butthole
my
would be
face
forever
would heal,
scarred.
and my soul would be destroyed if something crawled out of my butthole with claws. I mean,
There's a lot of emotional damage there, too.
Oh, this is a good one. Margaret, would you rather sport a diarrhea mustache for a week or dramatically sniff every person you pass for a week?
Oh, I'd sniff people.
Okay, let's just take a second for the listeners that know me. I dramatically sniff people all the time, so that would have been a relatively
I would just
easy.
Play you and sniff everybody and make them totally uncomfortable.
And that was probably my favorite thing about working in food service, is that I could get away with shit like that and nobody would ever question whether or not it was normal. So that's a good one. That was way too easy. But how would you maintain a diarrhea mustache for a week?
I would not.
Would you have to like keep diarrhea in a
You gotta
tube?
eat the booty. And we all know
Like
I
groceries?
don't go anything near ass to mouth ever.
Like
Nobody.
You just
ever.
keep diarrhea in like a toothpaste tube, and before you go to work every day, like put it on like a wax strip. And
No, thank you.
oh my god, that would be awful.
Margaret would definitely sniff people dramatically. Definitely.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right, Esther. Would you rather have an elephant diarrhea on your head. Why are these all talking about poop?
Poop questions? I mean...
Or get trapped in a room with an angry rhino.
Okay, see, so many questions. You can't just give me scenarios like this. First off, never, ever, ever in my life would I let an elephant diarrhea on my anything. Regular shit at the zoo coming out of
Would
an
you ever be
elephant.
so close to an elephant that could possibly happen? Probably not.
Probably not. But being trapped in a room with a rhino, I mean, unless you're in a steel room with a rhino, I imagine they would rather find their way out than attack you. Plus, aren't rhinos, like, extinct now anyway? Is it
Probably
theoretical?
near close
Rhino?
because our world is going to shit, so we like to hunt all of the animals that...
I'm gonna go ahead and say trapped in a room with an angry rhino, and hopefully not die, but, I mean, I guess...
You could just have, like, the red cape thing and make fun out of it. I'll ride the rhino, and we will try to attack you. We'll make, like, a game out of it.
Like a game out of it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I squished the Esser on a Friday night. Jesus Christ. Alright, so your question is... Would you rather have the left side of your body be of the opposite gender of your right side of your body, or be the ugly half of a Siamese twin?
Ooh.
That one's really hard.
No, see, because I would definitely want to have a wiener and a vagina, because then anytime I wanted, I could helicopter. And we all know that's what all the guys we know talk about, is how fun it is to helicopter your penis.
Now, are they saying that you would be like a two-headed cobra in the sense that you would have a full wiener on one side and a full vagina on the other side?
Well,
or
have you
would you
ever
have
seen
like a
those
hot dog cut in
people-
half?
Ever seen those people, like, from circus?
Yeah,
They do,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
movies, and, like, half of them's dressed like a dude and half's like a girl. Maybe I'll have, like, half a wiener, so it'll be even better.
I just can't imagine what
Super
a wiener
awkward.
cut in half would look like. Like, would you be able to see the inside of the wiener, or...
Let's have it healed over, but, like, with clear tape. So we can use it as a diagram type thing.
Yeah, I mean...
A model.
Oh my god. That is... Oh, man.
My manly side, I'd grow a really big beard.
Oh, really? Just on half of your face?
Yes, yeah.
Now, wait, would you grow pubic hair on the boy's side and no pubic hair on the guy or the girl's side?
You know what? I'd
Like,
just
be
keep it all
completely
natural and have
hairless?
one big bush.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I'm not going to be getting laid anyways.
Could you imagine if, like, your boy's side had brown hair and your girl's side had, like, bright red hair, and then it'd just be, like, an
It'd be
overgrown
one awesome
weirdness?
man bun. One awesome
You
man
bun your pubic hair?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Okay. Would you rather wrestle a large octopus or use a toilet full of jumping piranhas?
Okay, so here's the thing about me that most people don't know is I am fucking terrified of water and everything in it. So both of those scenarios are terrifying for me, but the thought of having to pry piranhas off of my lady parts is probably worse than wrestling an octopus. But the idea that in order to wrestle an octopus, he could drag me to the bottom of the ocean floor also is equally as terrifying. So I'd almost have to go with the toilet full of piranhas.
Man, so much emotional damage.
Right? I mean, neither of those would ever...
All your questions are so morbid.
Oh, this is a good one that's not so creepy, but it is still morbid. Would you rather get a paper cut on your eyeball or get set on fire?
Both of those sound awful.
And being set on fire and the idea of dying on fire is another one of those
Awful.
really awful things. Like that, suffocating or drowning, which are essentially the same thing, is terrifying.
I think the healing process afterwards, the fire would be worse. So I'll get a paper cut on my eyeball just because I hate having things in my eyes.
I was going to say, you have an eye phobia, too.
I know. I've already essentially had like a cut on my eyeball, so I get it. And if I get caught on fire, that healing process is just way worse. I can't cover my whole body in Aquaphor. I don't like greasy substances.
Oh, man. And covering your whole body in Aquaphor. Yeah, and it's like, if you get set on fire, like, are you able to put it out immediately? How much
Right.
damage are we talking
So many
here?
questions for these questions.
do I end up looking like one of those gym belly trolls at the end of it and my hair just frizzy all over the place, or a
You'd be
sim
cute.
that's been electrocuted?
I'd keep you. I'd still be your friend.
I'm glad you'd still be my friend, but I don't think I'd be my friend.
Sorry, you can just not be your own friend.
You just can't not be your own friend. That's a good point.
All right. Would you rather
I don't even like
lactate
that.
uncontrollably for a year or have unpredictable diarrhea leakage for a year?
Oh boy. Both of those you could manage rather discreetly. I mean, they make stuff for, but are you talking like with such force that it would just squirt out of me?
Yes, let's say
in both
that.
directions. I would definitely go probably with lactation only because it's not going to smell terrible. So
True.
everyone around you might not know that you're lactating if you can prevent it, unless of course you have like squirt gun tits. So
But that could be fun.
you'd be like the life of the party sometimes. Oh boy, some of these, man. Okay, this is a good one. This is disgusting. So just anyone who has a squeamish stomach might want to, and I know some of the things we've already said, but this tops it. Would you rather be a gorilla's sex slave or have 2 horny centipedes live in your pubes as a nest?
Ugh. Well, since we are so close to being primates anyways, I think gorilla sex slave might not be too bad if I just, go to sleep or knock myself out.
You drink until you black out?
Yeah, well, 2 horny centipedes, I don't like anything that looks like a worm or wormy, especially not in my pubes. So, yeah, I'll just be a gorilla sex slave to get away from
I think that's pretty solid.
horny centipedes.
I mean, and none of these tell you that, like, you just wake up one day and you're a sex slave for a day, or you wake up one day and you have an infestation and you can just take care of it.
Right.
Like, can you just take care of it? Can this just not be a problem after a certain amount of time?
You heard how I acted with just the spider in my car next to my arm. Could you imagine 2 centipedes fucking on my pubic hair?
Oh, Jesus.
Where's Margaret been? I just one day she just stopped coming around. I don't know what happened.
Know why. She just abducted by gorillas. I don't.
All right. Would you rather have 3 butt cheeks or have glow in the dark skin?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I think that's fun.
I think glow in the dark skin would be fun, but it depends on how much you glow. I mean, do you remember when you were younger and you'd go to like the bowling alley or the skating rink and you'd purposely wear like all white clothing so that you would glow, and then you would like be astounded by the fact that your teeth would glow, so you just walk around flashing your grill and for no fucking reason the whole time. But 3 butt cheeks would just be, how would you poop?
You could play the drums.
How would you poop though?
But think of the drums. So much twerking.
Oh my god.
Triple threat twerk.
No.
Oh, triple threat twerk.
You can't even triple threat twerk. That would just be all out of sync. It'd be like domino twerking instead of regular twerking.
No, you do so many squats. You'd have big old bubble butt.
What if you did squats, but the only part like
where the
that
two
was effective were the
butt
2 outside butt cheeks, and you just had like this paper thin butt cheek in the middle.
Sandwich twerk. There's so many names for this new twerk.
Oh man. Would you rather pee out of your nostrils for a week or have burning pee every day for a year?
For a week, then it's done?
Yeah, just for a week.
Yeah, I'll just pee out of my nose. I don't want to burning pee every day.
Are we talking like
That
STT level burning?
uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not fun. Definitely not fun.
I've had a UTI. No, thank you.
Oh, God. Some of these are just, this one, we'll go ahead and do this just as like a general question for both of us, because option number 2 is something that we kind of do already, but I've always thought about the level of cursing that we exhibit in our life and how it's...
I curse a lot because I'm fucking classy.
Classy as fuck. Would you rather have uncontrollable flailing arms for a week or swear uncontrollably for a week? So I'm assuming it's above and beyond normal swearing, which I honestly don't have a filter anyways. It's really hard for me to filter in anything but a professional environment. And even then, like, I have to stifle it and I catch it coming out of my mouth while I'm adjusting, and then I'm like, oh no, you gotta stop. But could you imagine having uncontrollable flailing arms? Like everywhere you went, you just looked like
In my profession, that might not be so great. I have sharp objects in my hand most parts of the day, so if I'm holding that scalpel and my arms are flailing uncontrollably, things might get sliced.
That is very true. And as far as, like, having Tourette's for, like, a week.
I'd rather just fucking motherfucking go through the fucking uncontrollable fucking
Yeah,
week.
and you could even just, like, tell people, hey, just so you know, something's wrong with my brain right now, and I can't control
All I can
this.
say is fuck.
So,
God damn it.
You know the most awkward, inappropriate word on the planet to say, and I've talked about this with Alex a lot, is the word pussy.
Ugh, I hate that.
I hate that word too.
You say it, it's done. We're done.
But it's like there's no way to say it at all without it sounding weird. Like, how are you?
Like, that is not sexy.
No, it's not. It's not sexy at all.
Hey, girl, send me a pic of your pussy. And you're just like, sorry, I can't. I'm busy puking all over myself because you're gross.
And when you talk about acceptable words and terms to use for labeling stuff, it's like you always want to use vagina because it's the technical term for it and the least disgusting. But even that word coming out of my mouth is uncomfortable.
My,
And penis.
lady part.
That's what I always say, lady bits.
My, twat waffle.
Oh my gosh. This one's pretty good too. Would you rather drink a glass of zit juice or suck milk directly from a cow's udder? Which, for people that don't know, milk that comes directly out of cows is not as delicious
Right.
as processed milk. Some people would disagree with that, but I feel like it has more of a sour taste.
Mm-hmm.
Straight. Did you ever go to like a dairy processing center when you were a kid?
Well, I actually used to live on a farm in New Haven, and the Cluppies lived down the street, and they used to have, like, milk cows, and we would buy milk from them, but, yeah, I've actually, like, seen all of that in action because I went to school with Curtis, which is the younger Cluppy, so we were kind of close, like, that was our closest neighbor,
Right.
like, 5 miles down the road.
Right. Yeah, and I never really experienced much of any of that stuff. I mean, we did it for class school trips and stuff, but I think the closest I've ever gotten to real fresh milk is the goat's milk that my cousin brings over for her baby. So that's a whole nother realm of stuff.
Clearly, we're not going to drink zit juice is what we're getting
Yeah,
at there.
which this next one is kind of gross too,
You
but
get a lot of satisfaction from popping zits, but
Yeah,
not from
and-
drinking them.
yeah, and I don't know, like my own zits and are one type of satisfaction, but
Well, you know how I am.
I know how you are too. And what's weird is I can do that to whoever I'm in a relationship with. After a while, that doesn't really bother me, but it's because I'd rather just get it over with than stare at it, and I know you're not going to take care of it. And I don't know why guys, they always say women have a higher threshold for pain, and I don't know if it's because of the beauty regimens we forced ourselves to do for thousands of years, or the fact that we push babies out of our vagina. But I can't even really attribute that to that because your body's kind of built for that. But they just don't want to do it. And if you try to do it the whole time, they're like squirming. And, get
away!
Stop it, it hurts. I'm like, well, if you just fucking hold still for 5 seconds, it would
No.
be over with.
I'd do it to a random stranger. I used to have that girl that I worked with, and when she was working out for a while, she'd come up to me and be like, "Cause I got this real hurtful zit on my back. Can you just?" And that was like the thing. She'd come to me, and I'd puncture it and pop it, and
Yeah, and some people don't understand
some people
that.
walked by a couple of times and questioned it, but you know,
It's a 50-50 thing. I feel like some people are going to listen to this and be like, that's disgusting. And other people are going to be like, that's totally me.
yeah.
But I don't think there's a guy on the planet that hasn't even admitted, I don't understand what's wrong with you girls. Why do you always want to do that? And it's like, well, it's there. And I think part of that, too, is the stigma that women need to be perfect. So we've been trained that if we see something like that on ourselves, it's disgusting and you need to fix it. So when we see it on other people, we're like, oh no, they're going to get bullied for that. Let me take care of that
Let
for
me
you.
squeeze
Just
that
hold
out.
still for like 5 seconds. Well, and we shave, so we have to deal with a lot more of like ingrown hairs and nonsense than guys do. So would you rather bathe in a homeless man's saliva every day for a week or bite the juicy zits off a greasy teenager?
Okay, that one is
Is
just
disgusting.
gross. Gross. Neither. I'd rather kill myself.
Yeah, that's
than
how I
do
felt
either
about
of those.
that. I felt, yeah, definitely.
None of the above.
This one is actually not too gross.
I like this that we're like playing together now.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. No, and I like being able to talk about it because it's like. So, would you rather be completely hairless all over or have completely transparent skin?
Ugh.
Hairless all over is a given, except for the fact that I don't know how I feel about being bald.
Right. And having no eyebrows?
Well,
Ooh, creepy.
And most people now don't have eyebrows anyways, and you just draw that shit on with a Sharpie.
Yeah, you just draw it on. Well, you can wear a wig.
You could wear a wig, but have you ever actually worn a wig? Do you remember how many Halloweens I put a freaking wig on my head, and within 10 minutes, Esther was just not
across
having it.
the room?
Yeah. And
on a boy.
Being fucking passed around like a bowl of popcorn because I didn't want to deal with it. Like, it's terrible. It makes you hot. But
I'd rather be hairless.
Yeah, I
don't want to see my
transparent skin though,
my
like
veins and stuff.
Well, I'm pasty as shit anyway, so I can see my veins on a daily basis. But I mean, and I've got tattoos, so but being hairless would actually be convenient for us.
Yeah.
I don't think guys appreciate how much effort we have to go through to
never
be
have
ideal.
to have razor burn on my pubic area again.
Oh my god,
hairless.
that is the worst.
And your armpits, because you start sweating, it gets all uncomfortable and chafed.
Yeah, and it's like guys are like, oh, you got lazy 2 years into a relationship, and it's just you're gonna fuck me anyway. Do you really want me to spend 2 hours trying to get all the nooks and crannies just to find out later that I missed a tiny spot? Now I'm more pissed off than I was before, and it's extremely uncomfortable. It's horrible. Your expectations are too high, dudes.
Too high.
Way too high. If I showered today, you should consider yourself fucking lucky. Seriously. Unbelievable.
Did I change my underwear this week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did I even put underwear on today? I really can't remember, and I really don't give a shit. Like, it's nice that I'm, like, getting to my 30s and I'm, like, comfortable with myself because bras with underwires were, like, my nemesis growing up.
I haven't worn sports bras for the last, 2 years.
Me
but also I
fucking
could
too.
shop in the kids section with that area.
Yeah,
so.
I can't. And that's the thing, too, is that the only attractive bras for a girl with a bust size my size are shoddily made, $10
lingerie.
bras that I'm lucky if it makes it till next Sunday without skewering my left tit off. And there's nothing more awkward than being midway through a shift at work and pulling your bra and just being like, well, here's the fucking wire, and then my right tit's higher than my left tit now, and I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Like, that is probably... And it gets to the point where at first you're, like, embarrassed, and you're like, well, I can't just take it off. Everyone will see my nipples, but I can't just... So you just live with the shish kebab under your armpit. And now it's like, now that I'm 30, it's like, go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not even going to bother with an underwire bra anymore. Stupid.
Hang loose, girls. Hang loose.
Yeah, no shit. Like, I don't know how I feel about free the nip and running around naked and all that stuff. I mean... But as far as who gives a shit about bras, guys don't have to wear bras even if they're 400 pounds and have bigger tits than I do. So why should I? Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. Preach. Absolutely. Oh, let's see if I can find another good one here. Would you rather, and this will open up a very interesting sexual discussion, have a threesome with the homeless or be a virgin for the rest of your life?
Fuck that.
So, and then that's the thing is, like, guys and girls out there, like, don't ever be afraid to be who you are. And it's probably the most empowering thing I've ever done to let my partner know that I don't want to be treated like a delicate flower, that I have needs too. And if I'm crabby for 2 or 3 days, you best be figuring out how to fix that shit. But the idea of, I don't know, sleep... And questions, again, are the homeless people gross and stinky? Have they been homeless for a really long time? Is there...
I would never have a threesome anyways.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too, is that I think more than one partner, is just too much to deal with. I mean, it gets confusing. You're uncomfortable already. Plus, they're strangers, obviously, if they're...
Right.
So
we'd never talk about it again, but still, like...
Right. I'd rather not be a virgin for the rest of my life. Like, if I had some curse, some Disney-style curse, X-rated Disney-style curse, where the only way I could ever have sex with anyone ever again was to have a threesome with 2 homeless people, would I do it?
I mean, you could open out your black box every day and take care of yourself.
You could, but you know how fucking... That would just be, I don't know. There's just something about skin on skin, shenanigans. It's a lot better than other stuff. Oh, let's see here. I think most of these... Ew. That one was gross. We're not doing that one either.
We're cheating.
We are kind of cheating here.
We're being biased.
Well, a lot of these, like, the way that this works is it's a random shuffle. So sometimes I get one would you rather that's one we've already had. This one is okay, but it's a would you rather have robot sex or have an insatiable sexual appetite for the elderly. Ooh. Which, obviously, the robot sex is choice number one for both of us just because of, Whitest Kids You Know, and we have a biased opinion of robot sex in general. But... I mean, what if there's got to be people out there that only want to have sex with older people. There's got to be like a grandma
cougars.
Fetish. Well, I think they're thinking.
And there's older men that seek younger women to escort them to parties. We all know where that goes.
Yeah, definitely. So this one is, would you rather be buried alive or be boxed to death by brass-knuckled kangaroos? I don't want to be buried alive ever.
No, that's a phobia of mine.
Mine too.
No, thank you.
But could you imagine boxing kangaroos with brass knuckles? That'd be incredible.
You'd be fucked.
It'd be the best. I mean, that would be a YouTube sensation.
So I looked up the Whitest Kids You Know sex robot song, so I feel like we should play it so people that don't know understand where this comes from.
I don't know if it's going to translate well on the mic, but what we can is we can leave a link in the description so that you guys can check it out. Shout out to Whitest Kids You Know for probably the best entertainment we had as a group in our first apartment. It was definitely something that we could watch on repeat and still laugh uncontrollably. Yep. Something I do want to point out while we're on the topic here is that a lot of what Whitest Kids You Know did was trashy toilet humor, and that type of humor is widely unaccepted now because everyone is trying to be incredibly politically correct. And part of what we want our viewers to know about this podcast is that we are both extremely supportive of the rights of others and the freedom and independence to be able to do what you want to do and what makes you comfortable within a capacity that it doesn't affect others in a negative way. That being said, some of the things that come out of our mouth may sound insensitive, intolerant, racist, sexist, and just downright unacceptable in the terms of 2016. I think it's a shame that I can't watch a stand-up comic without thinking about the repercussions of some of the things that came out of their mouth. I absolutely think that comedy is almost a dying breed, which, given all the platforms and different ways to entertain people, it just shouldn't be that way. As a society, we should be able to laugh at our faults. And I don't want anyone who listens to this podcast moving forward thinking that either of us don't support transgendered rights, that don't recognize the struggles of African Americans. Although some of the things that we say or do may sound like the opposite. I think that's important to you too. Mm-hmm. It's very important to both of us that you realize that most of what we're going to talk about and address over the next few weeks and hopefully years, if this pans out the way that we want it to, is just for the sake of comedy and not for anything else. There will be times where we come into a podcast after a tragedy or a law is passed and we generally want to just sit down and talk about it. But if your opinions differ from ours and you want to start a conversation, that's one thing. But we do hope that everybody here will understand that everyone's entitled to their own opinions. And even if our opinions don't match yours, it doesn't mean that we think any less of you or that we want you to tune out and not be part of the discussion, because that's a big thing that we've talked about as people, is that people don't talk enough. They don't talk about their differences, and then when it comes down to the wire, we can't make a decision as a nation one way or the other. And that's a big part of why we're here, because we just want to be able to talk freely about the stuff that bothers us with an audience.
Yep.
So
basically, don't be a little bitch and get all offended by what we say and cry about it and start some big old fight, you can talk about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the big thing is that and a lot of times when we say things, it's more sarcasm than anything else too. So we're here to have fun, and we hope you guys are here to have fun too, and be patient with us while we work through this process, because this is definitely something that's new to us, and we're not familiar with podcasting at all, or even recording was a big step for us, but thank God for the icebreaker, right? Which will probably be the best part of this entire podcast. All seriousness aside, that was fun, and I definitely hope that, I mean, if you guys want to see more of that each week, just kind of get the ball rolling. So
yeah, drop some comments. Give us some suggestions. We'll listen to you guys.
And if you guys give enough questions or stuff you want to know about us or ideas for podcasts, we may even do like a Q&A session or a live chat Q&A. And eventually, if we can commit to this for long enough, we'll do live feed videos and all kinds of stuff we have planned in the works. But we just want everybody to kind of get with us on this and be on the same team and, you know, appreciate each other while we do this. So this is definitely foreign ground for us. So yeah, we want to see your comments and your suggestions and all that stuff. So trying to keep it relatively short. We're at 32 minutes already, and our goal was 30. So we did pretty good. We sat through that whole time, and there wasn't any silence, and we didn't make complete assholes of ourselves. So I think we're going to go ahead and end that here. So thanks for looking out. It's podcast number 1, and hopefully we'll drop another podcast every Sunday. So as always, I guess you guys have a great week. Whatever day we decide to finally get this all up and trimmed, but we're probably not going to trim much because that's the whole point.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I guess that's it, guys. We'll see you next week.
Keep it fucking classy, y'all.
Classy as fuck.
Margaret out.
Esther out.